Hello everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be cleaning up this Ford Mustang. It's a 2020 Mustang GT. It's pretty filthy. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's pretty nasty. We're going to go over how to properly clean and get mud off safely without damaging your paint, how to get this up here cleaned, the fender walls, wheels, get this all cleaned up and dried off and ready to run proud again. So that's what we're here to do today. So the first thing I normally do once you get in the bay is just go over how dirty the car is, what areas you need to focus on first. I usually use this time to raise my wipers, get them cleaned up, check out your bug situation on the front. Just make sure you're ready because you're on a timer for this pressure washer, so use your time wisely and it will save you a little bit of money. Make sure to get up under here so you're not scrubbing as much to get dirt out of the fender walls. Make sure to get back here, which we'll go back here in just a moment. As soon as I wet the car down, which I'll have that videotaping as well. Make sure to get under the rocker panels, because that is one of the biggest areas that people miss. If you look under 90% of people's cars after they detail them, they're dirty. So just make sure to get those. And also the fuel door is another one. This car is equipped with the capless, so of course it's not going to let water in. So I always open that up to get that cleaned up. So the first thing you're going to do, this is pretty basic for every car wash. There's a rinse, there's a wax, spot-free, off tire cleaner, which we do not use. Pre-soak, which we do not use, is pretty much just soap, so you're wasting your time and money. And here's your high pressure detergent. Here's that foam brush if you ever dare to use it. And then we're back to rinse, of course. So the first thing I turn on is the high pressure detergent. And there's a couple reasons why. One, you can go ahead and let the car pre-soak. The pre-soak, which is this, it's just soap. So you need to pre-soak while you're doing the wheels. And you can go ahead and fill your bucket up. Because I have my bucket here. I've already got my wash detergent in the bucket. I'm ready to go. I've got my Simply Green, which I'm going to use on the tires as a detergent, or a degreaser, I'm sorry. So give me just a second, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that, and then we'll move on with the tires. Hello everybody. So what we're going to do, like I said, we've got it on our high pressure detergent. We're going to put our money in, like so. So it should be running now. Yep. I usually run it until you see the soap coming out. Like that. right, guys, so what we've done, we've you know, pre-soaked our car already, our wheels. It looks a little bit better, but we're not finished. So I've got my little dreadlock style sponge here, and I've got it soaked with soap. And what you're going to do is you always start at the top. Start at the top and just do it in line motion, back and forth, like this. And we'll have time to do the other one. So, of course, the other side, I mean. So go back and forth, back and forth. Remember, always stay on the top until you're ready to go down lower. So go here. Now we're going to do the windshield. On the windshield, there may be a few bugs. So what I do, I can't know if you can see this real good, but this is a really soft, but kind of stronger scrub side. So I flip it over, and I use that side on the windshield to kind of get the help with the bugs. Help with the bugs here. Okay, and same way with the mirrors. So what I'll do, I'll use that to work on the bugs, which this is where the pre-soak comes in as well, because you've already got your preset going on, so you don't have to scrub that hard to get the bugs off. So then let's see here, back up a little bit. Remember, you'll do it in lines. Reason you don't want to do it in circles, it will actually, you may not see it at first, you may not see it the second or third time, but eventually you will end up putting swirl marks in your paint, and you do not want that. This car has a ceramic coating over top. I know some people think it's a gimmick, some people swear by it, but this car, we definitely don't want to scratch it because it's very expensive to replace the ceramic covering. All right, so we got this side done. I move down to the windows on this side. What I do, I always go down to the windows, get those really good. I always make a line on top of the car. You know, mirrors, the windows. Pretty much you don't go down to where the road debris is. And I don't do the front or the back of the car yet, because it's lower. So of course, let's start here, move up, do the same thing we did on the other side. You'll see, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a line right there to where I usually, and there it is. So the whole top of the car has been cleaned. Same way with the windshield. Same way with the trunk. We go line, same thing I did on the other side. Same thing over here, flip it over. I'll do my windshield. Don't forget this down here because it does get dirty as well. Alright, I'm gonna flip it over, see my line. So go to the line, go down, and then back up. Down and up. Just keep going in lines. And you will get the entire car. Plus that way you're not trying to cover your tracks. When you're going side to side, you know you've covered everything. And if you're swirling, it's a possibility you could miss a little bit of dirt. And let's flip this over for the mirror. I don't know if you're as OCD as I am, but one little speck of dirt that's left on here will show, and it will drive me nuts. All right. Here, kind of look back and make sure you didn't miss nothing. Everything looks pretty set up. All right. Now we're gonna move. I usually go to the back after this, so I'll re-dip kind of shake it out a little bit to get you some dirt out. I actually have a grate on order. I'll show you that in one of the next videos. A grate actually is at the bottom of your bucket, and you actually rub your deadlock style sponges at the bottom, and that actually helps take some dirt off. So here I'm going to do the same thing, lines to lines. Now these sequential brake lights that's on this Mustang, they're a little bit more difficult to get into. but you just take your little soft brush here. This is why you need a soft one, because I don't know if you can tell, but this soft piano black, or I'm sorry, it's piano black trim back here will scratch very easily. So I go very, very easily across the piano black. Make sure you don't miss this upper lip. Yeah, trust me guys, you do not want to miss pieces on there, because when you're done, it will stick out like a sore thumb. Especially if it's real pretty out and the sun's shining. Everybody can see, and I don't like to do that. Alright, so now we're going to move down a bit. We'll move down here underneath the plate. Okay. And then once we're done that, then I'll move on to the front. So I dip my sponge again. Then we're going to go over here to the front. I'll start on the front. Now on the front, it does have some bugs. Remember, I do have a soft side on the other side of this. Do not do this with a hard bristle brush, or for that brush, do not use that brush on the front of your car if you value your paint, because that will more than likely scratch your paint and or your headlights. So you don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm just kind of going through again with this piano black. I'll flip it back over to the dreadlock style where it's real soft. Just kind of glide across it. Because if you miss anything crazy on this, you can always use a softer microfiber towel to get that off later. You don't want to take a chance on scratching this, because it looks horrible if you scratch it. Alright, so finishing at the front here. And I usually go all the way down on the front. There we go. Sorry, it's crazy jumpy. I'm doing this one-handed. Okay. Get all the bugs off.
Quit! You're knocking my car out of here. No, quit.
Alright, guys. Now I'm going to go back for another dip. So there's that. Just shake it off. Now I'm going to start where I left off on the side panel. So I'm going to go this way. And then just remember to do lines. Remember to do your lines. Make sure you get on your emblems really good. And I always shut this back to do the door. This is where I go all the way down. And don't worry about your door jambs yet. You'll have a chance to do those shortly. Make sure to get your rocker panels real good. And after that, I'll usually go for another dip. Because the side of the car is usually the dirtiest, you know, with the exception of the front, which has bugs on it usually. But, alright, so we got that going. This side. Get your emblem real good. Side to side. Alright guys, and make sure another part that Barry misses is behind these door latches. I actually missed the other side. I'm going to go get those. Alright. Okay. So last but not least, I'm going to do the main bottom of the rear. So I'm just going to go in to the plastic area here, clean that all up, which we got some trim work to do on this. Then we'll do the exhaust. All right, so we washed it. Now stay tuned, I'm gonna rinse it off and show you how to get all your soap off. All right everyone, so at this point we've got the car all washed off. So now what we're gonna do is take our pressure washer and rinse it off. I usually go over it one more time, and you can switch it to your spot rinse. So spot rinse is just a feature that most car washes have. It's filtered water pretty much, so it helps you when you're drying your car off, helps it not to dry as fast, which I just ran out of time, so that's awesome. All right. Now we got it. So far what we've done is we've, rinsed all the dirt off, most we could. And then we've washed the car. We've washed the fender wells. We've washed the wheels. So now it's time to dry. Okay, so from here, I have a big drying cloth, which is microfiber. You can pretty much get these anywhere. I got mine at Walmart for like $5. And then I have a smaller microfiber, and you'll see why in just a moment. So what I do is I do it in fours, so it's folded in fours. So I put it up there and just start drying. Just dry the whole top, whole bottom. Just dry all of it off there. Remember, just like we washed and rinsed, do it in lines. Make sure to get everything, the windshield. And then I usually flip over the hood. These towels are excellent for drying. They don't scratch your paints. Just make sure to do not drop them on the ground before you go to drying your car. That's the only thing that would upset your paint. Okay, so what I've done here, I've dried with the big one. So now, this is called the 2-towel method. So I just go back over with a smaller towel and just make sure I get all my lines out. And then just make sure you get all your lines that you may have missed, any wet spots you may have missed. Some over to your hood. Alright, now we got this side finished. As you can see, inside's dry and looking good, and one side's wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to fold it to the other side. Be right back. Alright guys, so what I've done, I've switched to the drier side of my cleaning towel, or drying towel rather. And I'm just going to do the same measure that I did on the other side. Line to line. Just go in lines. And if you noticed, I'm taking breaks just like I did with the washing. So I did that section of the side, and I flipped the rag over, or the towel, I'm sorry. And now I'm doing the side just like I did when I washed the car. Just make sure you're consistent, or try to be as consistent. I'm not best at being consistent, but try my best. See, I just make sure this is all dried off here. And just earlier I flipped over for the hood. Just make sure you get all your hood. And for those of you out there that have real working hood vents, you know the struggle. They do tend to leak water a little bit, you know, so we'll go over that here in a moment whenever I get to the hood part of this. Okay, so now I'm going to go over this piano black. Get it all nice and dry. Get in here just like I did earlier. Get in here. Okay. Alright, so now is when I take a break and switch over to the orange with my secondary towel, and I just go back over. See, like that little spot up there that I missed? It pretty much helps you miss anything that you, helps you get anything that you may have missed. So this one there. Here, a couple of streaks on the windshield, nothing terrible. Right here's some, and then up here on top, that gap always tends to hold a little bit of water. Okay, so there's no streaks. So we're looking good. So then we go back to this back here, secondary towel. And this secondary towel method works beautifully. It just ensures that you're not missing anything, that when you go to wax your car, you're not, you know, trying to re-clean it as you go to wax. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the back. Over the bottom here again. That's what I may have missed. Okay. Now we're going to go over here to the side. I'll get my towel back together here. Okay. Now I'm going to go down the side of the car. Again in lines. And we've got those all taken care of. We'll go ahead and do this side right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my extra towel. I'm going to go over what I just did. Okay. Just kind of go over and make sure you didn't miss anything crazy. And you're not going to get everything perfect because it's going to leak a little bit of water from various places, you know, as it's drying out. So don't get discouraged if you can't get everything, or don't get aggravated if you can't get everything off or get everything dry the first time, because there's little areas of the car, little crevices and such that holds water. So I'm just doing the other side, line to line. Like I did earlier. Okay. Same way, I'm going to take my secondary towel. Go back through it. Make sure we didn't miss nothing. It's actually looking pretty good. The real test is when we pull it outside. Missed that bottom half on here. There we go. See what I mean? We just dried this. I don't know if you can see that water. That water is coming from this mirror. So, and you can dry this 45,000 times. And this mirror is still going to drip a little bit of water. So what I usually do is try to get in there as much as I can. And now we're going to do the front. We're almost done. At least with the drying process. So we're going to do this piano black. Cover that. Down to the bottom. And again, don't get discouraged if you missed a few bugs, because I always go back over the car again before we wax them. So, and again, I apologize for the bouncy video. Alright, so that one's done. Secondary towel. Secondary towel. Okay. Alright, so we've got her dried off. Next step is to pull it out and do the wheels. Okay guys, so the next thing to do is to take your drying towel and do all of your door jambs. That's including your trunk. So just go through. That's very important because you don't want your vehicle to look like crap when you open your trunk or you open your doors or your hood for that matter. So I always do the door jambs, including the trunk and including the hood, because that just makes it look 10 times better. Just make sure you get all the water. If there's any soap down here, make sure you get all the soap out. Because trust me, it really helps. It helps a lot. Because that's how like these little door jambs and such get stained, is when people wash their car, they can take care of them perfectly on the outside, and then on the inside they've never touched the door jambs, and people just, they don't think about that stuff. A lot of people don't. Car enthusiast does think about that, but the normal person does not. So that being said, with the door jambs, just go in with your drying towel and just go in and dry off section here. And then make sure to get up in here. Now make sure when you're getting in this area to do not get your grease for your hinges, because that's there for a reason. Okay, so we got this all dried up. Alright, so we got that dry. And then make sure you get back out on the outside because there's usually some drippage. Same way with the driver's side. Open it up. And then just down the door jambs. Now these usually they usually dry pretty well. So the 2-towel method, I mean, you can use it on these. Typically they dry pretty quickly. That's why it's crucial to get in here, you know, before you do anything else and dry these, because if not, it'll end up making it look like not very attractive. Alright, so we got that out of the way. With these door jambs, I do include fuel door. Let's make sure to get in here. Alright, so we got those all cleaned up, dried off. Let's move on to the next step. I'm getting ready to do the windows anyway. So if you choose to do that, just be very careful, drive really slow. There's a couple of reasons why you need to drive slow pulling the car out. The number one reason is if these fall, they can possibly crack your windshield. So that's the number one safety issue there. Which if you drive like really slow, like I'm doing to pull out, that's fine. That usually works for me. So when you pull outside, you're going to have a lot of sun beating down. So that gives you some opportunity to see anything you missed. And I usually turn the wheels a little bit like this just so you can get up in the fender walls and all that. We still got to clean the inside of this car. That'll be another video. So just stay tuned.